My wife left me for her lover. Then they got into a horrific car accident that killed him. Now she's back, broken and desperate, demanding that I take care of her again. She never expected what I said next. I'm Daniel, 34 years old. For the last decade, I've been selling industrial equipment, conveyor systems, hydraulic lifts, the kind of heavy machinery that keeps factories running day and night. Steady job, decent money, nothing glamorous. I was married to Laura for 6 years. As tense matters here. 8 months ago, Laura joined a gym. I thought it was great. She'd been talking about wanting to get back in shape, feel more confident. I encouraged it, paid for the membership without thinking twice. The first month, she came home energized, talking about her workouts, showing me YouTube videos of exercises she wanted to try. I was happy for her. Then things shifted. Month 2, the gym sessions got longer. She'd leave at 6:00 p.m., come back at 9:00. I stayed for a class, she'd say. Or, I ran into someone and we grabbed a smoothie after. Innocent enough, except she started showering at the gym instead of at home. Her phone, which used to sit on the kitchen counter while she cooked, was now always in her pocket, face down on the nightstand. Password changed. I'm not an idiot. I noticed things. The name started appearing around month 3. Marcos. Oh, Marcos showed me this new shoulder routine. Marcos said I should try increasing my protein. The way she said his name, there was a lightness to it, a familiarity that made my stomach turn. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I watched. I'm analytical by nature. My job is solving logistical problems, finding inefficiencies, fixing them before they become disasters. So, I applied the same approach here. I started checking our joint credit card statements. There it was. Charges I didn't recognize. $187 at a hotel bar downtown on a Tuesday night when she said she was at spin class. $95 at a boutique hotel near the gym. Another $143 at a restaurant I'd never heard of. Smoothies don't cost $143. I screenshotted everything. Built a folder on my laptop labeled Property Tax 2024. Boring enough that Laura would never open it. Inside, I documented every charge, every late night, every inconsistency in her story. I opened a separate bank account, transferred my paycheck there, left just enough in our joint account to cover bills. I changed passwords on my personal email, my brokerage account, my streaming services. I made copies of our mortgage documents, car titles, marriage certificate. I wasn't planning a war. I was preparing for one. Laura didn't notice. She was too busy living her double life. By month 6, she barely looked at me. We'd sit on the couch, 2 feet apart, and she'd be texting, smiling at her phone. I'd ask who she was talking to. Just Kendall, she'd say her friend from work. But Kendall's name wasn't the one lighting up her screen for 3-hour text marathons. I could have exploded, screamed, thrown her phone across the room. Some guys would have. But that's not who I am. I don't do messy. I do calculated. 2 weeks ago, she came home at 10:30 p.m., glowing, glowing hair damp from the gym shower, skin flushed. She smelled like expensive cologne, not mine. She kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong and went to the bathroom. I sat on the couch staring at the wall and realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. The next night, I waited until she got home. She walked in, gym bag over her shoulder, phone in hand. I was sitting at the kitchen table. No TV on. No distractions. Hey, she said, barely glancing at me. I'm going to grab a quick shower, Laura. Something in my voice made her stop. She turned, looked at me for the first time in weeks. Really? Looked at me. We need to talk about Marcos. Her face went white. She stood there, gym bag sliding off her shoulder onto the floor. Her mouth opened, closed. She tried a laugh that died in her throat. What are you talking about? I didn't move. Don't insult me by pretending you don't know who he is. Your workout buddy. The guy you've been texting for 6 months. The one whose cologne you're wearing right now? She flinched. Looked away. Daniel. Is it true? Silence. 10 seconds. That felt like an hour. Then she nodded. Say it out loud. Yes. Her voice cracked. Yes, I've been seeing him. I prepared for this moment. Rehearsed it in my head 100 times. But hearing her admit it still felt like a punch to the chest. I kept my face neutral. How long? 4 months. She was crying now. I didn't mean for it to happen, Daniel. I swear it just. We started talking and he was I don't care about the story. I cut her off. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to make a choice right now. Him or me? She wiped her eyes. Daniel, it's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You pick him. You walk out that door and we're done. Completely done. No trial separation. No figuring things out. No coming back in 3 months when you realize you made a mistake. If you choose him, I'm gone. If you choose me, you end it tonight. Block his number. Never see him again. You decide. That's not fair. She whispered. Fair? I almost laughed. You spent our money on hotel rooms with another man. You lied to me for 4 months. And you want to talk about fair? She wrapped her arms around herself. I think I'm in love with him. There it was. Then you've made your choice. I said, Daniel, please pack a bag. Stay with Kendall tonight. We'll figure out the logistics later. I need time to think. No, you don't get time. You get now. Make the choice. She stared at me for a long moment, tears streaming down her face. Then she picked up her gym bag and walked to the bedroom. 20 minutes later, she came out with a duffel bag and her laptop. I'm sorry, she said at the door. I didn't respond. She left. The second her car pulled out of the driveway, I went to work. I pulled up the spreadsheet I've been building for weeks, added the latest hotel charge from 3 days ago. Total affair expenses, $4,783. I documented everything, dates, amounts, locations, saved it in 3 places, called the bank, removed her access to our joint checking, transferred my half to my separate account, left her half untouched, called the credit card company, removed her as an authorized user, changed the locks at 11:00 p.m. Legal, I checked. House was in my name only, purchased before the marriage. At 8:00 a.m. the next morning, I was sitting in a divorce attorney's office. 3 weeks passed. Laura moved in with Marcos. I heard through mutual friends, the ones who quietly took my side, that she was finally happy, that she and Marcos were so in love, that she felt free. She texted me twice, once to ask about mail that came for her, once to say she wanted to talk when I was ready. I didn't respond to either. I went to work, closed a major contract, hit the gym, saw my brother for beers, lived my life. People asked if I was okay. I told them I was fine. I meant it. It was a Tuesday night, 3 weeks and 2 days after Laura walked out. I was on my couch watching a documentary about World War II supply chains when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. Is this Daniel Garrison speaking? This is Riverside Medical Center. We're calling about Laura Garrison. There's been an accident. We need you to come to the hospital immediately. My blood went cold. What kind of accident? A car accident. She's stable, but she's asking for you. You're listed as her emergency contact. I closed my eyes. What about the other person in the car? A pause. I'm sorry, sir, the other driver didn't survive. I hung up the phone, sat there for a full minute staring at nothing. Marcos was dead. Laura was in the hospital and I was still her emergency contact. I should have felt something. Shock, grief, even satisfaction. I felt nothing. Just a strange emptiness. I didn't rush to the hospital. I called back, spoke to a nurse, got the details. Single car accident on Highway 9 about 9:00 p.m. Marcos was driving, lost control on a curve, hit a guardrail, flipped twice. He died on impact. Laura had 3 broken ribs, a fractured left leg, concussion, various lacerations. Stable condition. They'd operated on the leg, pinned it. She'd be there at least a week. I thanked the nurse and hung up. Then I sat on my couch and finished my documentary. I know how that sounds, but here's the thing. I wasn't her husband anymore. Not really. She'd made that clear when she walked out. The fact that I was still listed as her emergency contact was an administrative oversight. Nothing more. I'd go see her eventually, just not at midnight, not panicked, not playing the role of the concerned husband rushing to her bedside. The next morning, I drove to the hospital. Visiting hours started at 10:00 a.m. I got there at 10:45. Laura was in a private room on the 4th floor. Her left leg was in a cast, elevated. Her face was bruised, a bandage above her right eyebrow. She looked smaller somehow, fragile. She saw me and started crying immediately. Daniel. Oh my God, Daniel. I stood at the foot of the bed. Didn't sit. The nurse said, "You're stable. Marcos is dead." She was sobbing now. "He's gone. We were just driving and I know." She looked at me, searching my face for something. Sympathy, maybe. Grief. She didn't find it. "I'm sorry you're hurt," I said. "Genuinely, but I'm not here as your husband. Daniel, please. I need to update your emergency contact information." "Who should I list?" "Your parents." She stared at me like I'd slapped her. "Are you serious right now?" "Completely. You moved out 3 weeks ago. You chose him. I'm not your emergency contact anymore. I almost died. I'm aware and I'm glad you didn't, but that doesn't change anything." A nurse came in to check vitals. I stepped out, told the charge nurse to update Laura's records with her parents' information. They took it down without comment. I left the hospital without saying goodbye. Over the next 2 days, my phone didn't stop. Laura's mother called 6 times. Her father twice. Kendall texted asking if I was really going to abandon Laura now when she needs you most. I didn't respond to any of them. Then on day 3, Laura texted me directly. A long rambling message sent at 2:00 a.m. Daniel, I know I don't deserve your help. I know I ruined everything, but I have nowhere to go when they discharge me. My parents live 4 hours away and can't take time off work. Kendall's apartment is a third-floor walk up. I can't do stairs with this leg. I made a horrible mistake. The worst mistake of my life. Marcos is gone and I realize now that what we had wasn't real. You were my partner. My husband. I need to come home. Please. I'm begging you. Let me come home. I read it twice. Put my phone down. Went to bed. The next morning, I responded. I'll meet you, but not at home. And not as your husband. There are things we need to discuss. Her reply came instantly. Okay. Anything. When? Friday, 10:00 am. Riverside Cafe on Merchant Street. Public place. Bring whoever you want to support. Why public? I didn't answer that. I had 2 days to prepare and I intended to use every minute. Friday morning, I woke up early, showered, dressed in business casual. Put on the watch Laura gave me for our 5th anniversary. Ironic, but it was a good watch. I grabbed the folder from my desk, the one I'd been building for months. I got to the cafe at 9:45, ordered a black coffee, sat at a table near the window. At 9:58, I saw Laura's father's car pull up. He got out, went around, helped Laura into a wheelchair. She was in sweatpants and an oversized hoodie, her casted legs sticking out awkwardly. They came inside. Laura's father pushed her wheelchair to my table. His face was hard. Daniel, he said coldly. Mr. G. I replied. Laura looked up at me, eyes red and puffy. Thank you for meeting me, I nodded. Open my folder. Let's talk about what happens next. Laura's father didn't sit. He stood behind her wheelchair. Arms crossed. Jaw tight. A united front. Laura reached for my hand across the table. I moved it to my lap. I'm so sorry, she started, voice trembling. Daniel, I was so stupid. Marcos, what we had wasn't real. It was infatuation. It was stupid. And I threw away everything for it. I threw away us. I sipped my coffee. Said nothing. I know I hurt you. I know I broke your trust. But we built a life together. 6 years. That has to mean something. She was crying now. Wiping her eyes with her sleeve. I need to come home. I need to recover somewhere safe. And I need my husband. Mr. G's expression softened slightly, watching his daughter fall apart. He looked at me expectantly, waiting for me to comfort her, to be the bigger person to extend the olive branch. I set my coffee down, opened the folder. Laura, there's no home for you anymore. She blinked. What? You made a choice 3 weeks ago. You chose Marcos. You moved out. You told me you were in love with him. I respected that choice. I moved on. But he's dead. And I'm sorry for that genuinely, but it doesn't change what happened before. You didn't leave Marcos. Marcos died. There's a difference. Her father stepped forward. She's injured. She needs support. I interrupted calmly. And she has a family for that. But I'm not her husband anymore. Not in any way that matters. I slid the first document across the table. Bank statements highlighted in yellow. This is our joint credit card statement from the last 4 months. These charges, hotels, restaurants, bars, those were for you and Marcos. Total $4,783. Laura's face went white. Daniel. That's our money. Money from our joint account. Money I earned while you were lying to me about spin classes and smoothies. Money you spent on hotel rooms with another man. I was going to pay you back when. I leaned forward. Before or after you came crawling back because you had nowhere else to go? That's not fair. She was sobbing now. Full body shaking. Her father's face was red. She just lost someone. She nearly died. You're really going to throw receipts at her right now? I'm showing her the consequences of her choices. Something neither of you seem to have done. I pulled out another document. The divorce petition my attorney had drawn up. I didn't file it yet. Wanted to see if Laura would sign an uncontested agreement first. Cleaner that way. You want to know what happens next? I'll tell you. We separate formally. We split assets down the middle. House, savings, everything. Fair and clean. You sign the papers. We go our separate ways. I don't want a divorce. Laura whispered. That's not really your call anymore. She reached across the table again. Grabbed my wrist this time. Daniel, please. I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. We can fix this. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. I pulled my hand back. You don't love me, Laura. You love the security I provide. When you didn't need it, you left. Now that you do, you're back. That's not love. That's convenience. The cafe was quiet except for Laura's crying. A few other customers glanced over, then quickly looked away. Her father's hands were clenched into fists. I stood, gathering my folder. Wait, Laura gasped. Where are you going? I have work, but this isn't over. I pulled out a business card, my attorney's office, wrote a date and time on the back. Next Friday, 2:00 p.m. This is a mediation office downtown. We're going to have a formal separation meeting. Bring your parents if you want. Bring an attorney if you have one. We'll divide everything properly. Legally, I don't understand, she said. Voice breaking. What else is there to settle? I looked at her for a long moment. Everything, I said. Then I walked out. The mediation office was sterile and professional. White walls, conference table, uncomfortable chairs. My attorney, Bernard Huey, sat to my right, there in a consultant capacity, not representing me officially. Just moral support and a witness. Laura arrived 10 minutes late. Her father pushed her wheelchair, her mother trailing behind, looking exhausted. Laura's cast had signatures on it. Now friends, I guessed. Her face was still bruised, but healing. They sat across from us. Laura wouldn't meet my eyes. Her mother immediately started crying quietly. Bernard slid a stack of documents to the center of the table. Let's begin. I'd spent the week organizing everything. Asset inventory, account statements, property deeds, car titles, 6 years of marriage, reduced to spreadsheets. First, the house. I said it's in my name, purchased before marriage. Fair market value is $340,000. Current mortgage balance is $178,000. Equity is $162,000. I'm offering Laura $81,000 as her half of the equity we built during the marriage. Her father leaned forward. That's generous. It's fair. I corrected. I'm not trying to screw anyone over. I'm trying to end this cleanly. We went through the rest. Savings account split 50-50. Her car was paid off. Titled in her name. She keeps it. My truck, same. The furniture she wanted. I'd already packed. She could pick it up whenever. Laura said nothing through all of it. Just stared at the table, occasionally nodding. Retirement accounts. Bernard continued. Daniel's 401k has appreciated during the marriage. Laura is entitled to half of that appreciation under state law. We've calculated. She can have it. I interrupted. All of it. I'm not fighting over retirement accounts. Her mother looked up, surprised. Even Bernard raised an eyebrow. Laura finally spoke. Why are you being so fair? Because I'm not trying to punish you financially, I said. That's not what this is about. I pulled out a different folder, the one I've been carrying since the cafe. This, however, is. I slid an invoice across the table. Itemized. Professional. Every hotel charge, every restaurant, every bar tab, dates, amounts, locations, 4 months of receipts, $4,783. That's what you spent on your affair with Marcos. Joint account funds. I expect reimbursement. The room went silent. Her father's face turned red. You can't be serious. Completely serious. She used marital funds to cheat on me. I want it back. She just lost someone. She's in a wheelchair. You're being cruel. I'm being honest, I said evenly. She made adult decisions. These are adult consequences. Laura was shaking. I don't have that kind of money right now. You have 90 days. We can set up a payment plan if needed. But I'm not writing this off. Her mother reached across, squeezed Laura's shoulder. This is too much, Daniel. She's been through enough. I pulled out the final documents. 3 pages. Last items. I've removed Laura as my emergency contact at my employer and all medical facilities. I've removed her as beneficiary on my life insurance, my 401k, and my bank accounts. I've removed her as my health proxy. These are copies for your records. Bernard handed Laura a pen. If you'll sign here, acknowledging receipt. Wait. Her father stood up. You're just erasing her completely. I'm establishing appropriate boundaries. We're separated. Soon to be divorced. She can't be those things anymore. We were married for 6 years. Laura shouted suddenly. 6 years, Daniel. That means nothing to you. It meant everything to me, I said quietly. Which is why this hurts, but it doesn't change what you did or what you chose. I stood, gathered my documents. You have 90 days to transition everything. Car insurance, health insurance, phone plan, gym membership, anything with my name on it. After that, you're on your own. I called it cruel, her father said, voice shaking with anger. But you're not cruel. You're heartless. I looked at him. Then at Laura. Then back at him. No, I'm just not her backup plan. I walked out. Bernard followed, closing the door behind us. We were halfway across the parking lot when I heard shouting. Laura's father was running toward me, face purple with rage. You son of a B, word. He screamed. You think you're so much better than her? You're just a coward. A heartless coward. He got close, finger jabbing toward my chest. Bernard stepped between us. Sir, I'm going to ask you to step back. She made a mistake. One mistake and you're destroying her. I stood there calm as he yelled. Then I got in my car. As I drove away, I watched him in the rearview mirror, still shouting. Laura's mother had come out, was trying to pull him back inside. I gripped the steering wheel, and for the first time since this all began, I wondered, would I regret this? 6 months later, I had my answer. No, I didn't regret it. The moment I drove away from that parking lot, something inside me shifted. Not relief exactly, more like clarity. For months, I'd been carrying the weight of Laura's choices on my shoulders. That day, I finally put it down. The divorce was finalized 8 weeks after our mediation meeting. Laura signed everything. Didn't fight. Her parents paid the $4,783 in a single check. I'm guessing they didn't want the payment plan hanging over their daughter's head. I deposited it. Closed our joint accounts permanently. And that was that. I heard through mutual friends, the few we still shared, that Laura moved back to her parents' place in Oakmont, about 3 hours north. She'd recovered physically, the leg healed, the bruises faded. Emotionally, though, she was struggling. Some friends blamed me, called me cold, said I'd kicked her when she was down. Most understood. Kendall reached out once about 2 months after everything ended. Asked if I was happy with myself. I told her I was at peace. Which wasn't the same thing. But was more honest. She said Laura cried every night for weeks, that she'd lost everything, Marcos, her marriage, her home. I reminded Kendall that Laura had walked away from the marriage first. Marcos dying didn't erase that. She hung up on me. Haven't heard from her since. Life moved forward. Work got busy, landed 2 major contracts in the spring, started going to the gym regularly, ironically enough. Not the one Laura went to, different one across town. I saw my brother more, reconnected with old friends I'd neglected during the marriage. And then I met Ingrid. She worked in agricultural financing, assessing loans for farm equipment and rural development projects. We met at an industry conference in May, completely random. I was grabbing coffee between sessions. She was doing the same. We started talking about supply chain logistics. Ended up having lunch. She was direct. No games. When I told her I was recently divorced, she asked why. I gave her the short version. She didn't judge, didn't try to fix me, didn't ask if I was over it. She just nodded and said, "That must have been hard." We took it slow. Dinner the next week, then another. She knew the full story by date 3. I showed her the spreadsheet, explained everything. She laughed, not at Laura, but at my methodical approach to heartbreak. "You built a spreadsheet?" she said, smiling. "That's the most engineer thing I've ever heard." I'm not an engineer, same energy. We'd been seeing each other for 4 months now. Nothing serious yet, but promising, real. She didn't need me to fix her. Didn't need me to be her safety net. She had her own life, her own money, her own goals. We just fit. Last week, we were having dinner at her place. She asked me something no one else had. "Do you ever wonder what if?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. I used to. I said right after it all happened. Yeah. I'd wonder if I was too harsh. If I should have given her another chance, if love was supposed to mean forgiving anything. And now I realize what ifs are for people who didn't learn the lesson. She raised an eyebrow, which is that being someone's safety net isn't love. Laura didn't love me. She loved the security I provided, the stability. When she didn't need it, she left. When she did, she came back. That's not a partnership. That's insurance. Ingrid reached across the table, squeezed my hand. "You know what I think?" "What?" "I think you did something really hard. You chose yourself. Most people can't do that." I looked at her. Really looked at her. Someone who chose to be with me, not because she needed me, but because she wanted to be. "Yeah," I said. "I guess I did." I still think about Laura sometimes. Not often. Not with anger, just occasionally. I hope she's okay. I hope she's learned something. I hope she finds someone who makes her happy and that she treats them better than she treated me. But I don't regret walking away because Laura taught me something invaluable. I'm nobody's backup plan and I'll never apologize for that. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.